California, the biggest property market in the country, and a state that does almost everything without a courtroom. A tax sale here hands you a deed, not a lien, and a mortgage foreclosure is usually run by a private trustee, not a judge. 2 tracks, and you need to know exactly how each one ends. Let's go deep. First, the basics. California has 58 counties, and each county's treasurer tax collector runs its own sales. And get this straight up front. California is a tax deed state. There are no lien certificates to buy here. When the county sells, it sells the property itself. Here is the key idea. There are 2 tracks, and in California both of them usually skip the courthouse. On the tax side, the collector takes and sells the property under a statutory power of sale. On the mortgage side, a private trustee sells it under a power of sale in the deed of trust. 2 tracks, 2 bodies of law, and almost no judges. Part 1. Tax deeds. The administrative track. So is it judicial? No. When taxes go unpaid long enough, the property is deeded to the state by operation of law, and the county tax collector sells it under a statutory power of sale. There is no lawsuit and no court. It is purely administrative. And what you buy is a deed to the property, won at a highest bid public auction, these days almost always online. There is no interest rate to bid down, and no certificate to hold. You are buying the land outright. But it takes a long time to get there. A property has to sit tax defaulted for 5 full years before the county gains the power to sell it. 3 years for commercial or nuisance parcels. So every parcel at the auction has a long, slow history behind it. And here is the fact that catches everyone. In California, there is no redemption after a tax sale. The owner can pay the back taxes right up until 5 p.m. the business day before the auction. But the moment that deed is recorded, the right to redeem is gone for good. Compare that to a lien state where owners get years. Here, the sale is the end of the line. The full cycle looks like this. Taxes fall into default and penalties pile up. 5 years later, the county gains the power to sell. It sets a minimum bid and gives notice by mail, posting, and publication. Redemption ends the evening before. The property is sold at public auction to the highest bidder. The deed records, and any money above the taxes is held as excess proceeds for 1 year. A few numbers are worth memorizing. Falling behind adds a 10% penalty. Once the parcel is tax defaulted, it accrues 1.5% a month, 18% a year. It takes 5 years to reach the power to sell. And after the sale, the former owner has just 1 year to claim the surplus. When a parcel sells for more than the taxes owed, that surplus does not stay with the county. It flows through a waterfall. Lien holders of record get paid first, in priority, and then the former owner. The claim is filed with the County Board of Supervisors, not a court, within 1 year. California was already compliant with Tyler v. Hennepin and confirmed it with a 2023 law. Now, marketable title on the tax side. The deed is powerful. Under Section 3712, it wipes out most prior liens, but it does not clear instantly because a 1-year window lets the sale be challenged and set aside. Title insurers know this, and most will not write a policy until that year runs. So plan to wait it out, and usually to quiet title before you resell. Part 2. Mortgage foreclosure. A different code and a private trustee instead of a judge. On the mortgage side, the answer is almost always non-judicial. Nearly every California mortgage carries a power of sale and a deed of trust, so a private trustee can sell the home without ever filing a lawsuit. A judicial foreclosure is allowed, but it is rare, and a trustee's sale needs no court confirmation. It is final at the hammer. The timeline runs like this. The trustee records a notice of default, which opens a 3-month window to cure. After that, a notice of sale is published and posted, with the sale set at least 20 days out. The borrower can reinstate the loan until 5 business days before the sale. Then the trustee sells at public auction and delivers a deed that is final immediately. Start to finish, often just about 4 months. And notice the trade-off. After a non-judicial trustee's sale, there is no redemption at all. It is over. Only if a lender chooses the slower judicial route does the borrower get a redemption right. 3 months if the sale covered the debt, a full year if it did not. Speed versus a second chance. The lender picks. Here is why the fast path costs the lender something. California's anti-deficiency wall. After a non-judicial trustee's sale, the lender cannot sue the borrower for any shortfall. And on a purchase money home loan, there is never a deficiency, judicial or not. Add the one-action rule, which forces the lender through the property first, and you see the bargain. The trustee's sale is quick and final, but the lender gives up the right to chase the borrower. The money from a trustee's sale follows its own waterfall. The costs of sale come first, then the foreclosing lender, then junior liens in order of priority, and finally whatever is left goes back to the borrower. And here is the irony. The trustee's deed is actually the cleaner title. It is final at the hammer with no court confirmation and no redemption period running underneath it. A bona fide buyer at a trustee's sale takes title that is in practice often easier to ensure than a fresh tax deed with its one-year challenge window still open. And a few things survive no matter which track you are on. If the IRS wasn't given its 25-day notice, its lien stays, with a 120-day federal redemption right. Special assessments, like Mello-Roos and old improvement bonds, ride right through a tax deed, and under the federal Superfund law, the Ninth Circuit has held that a tax sale buyer cannot hide behind the innocent purchaser defense, buy contaminated land, and you may inherit the cleanup. All of this lives on one page in the wiki. Both tracks, every figure traced to the Revenue and Taxation Code and the Civil Code, with the gaps flagged honestly. Because parts of this are genuinely county by county. The exact auction dates, the deposits, and the platform a given county uses all vary, and the seasoning rules title insurers follow are industry practice, not statute. So the wiki flags those, instead of inventing them. If you are serious, start with the State Controller's Office, its tax public auction page, and its excess proceeds guide, then your county's treasurer tax collector for the actual parcels, most of them sold on bid-for assets. California is one of 56 jurisdictions in the wiki. Every rule cited, every gap flagged. wiki.auctionblock.org